what I could tell you is, like, for every Karen we lose, there's a Julio and a Jamal ready to sign up for the MAGA movement, and that bodes well for our ability to be more diverse and to be more durable as we head into.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. That's Matt Gaetz, who's doing like the worst surrogacy I've ever seen. Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash here with you. Bottom of this second hour. This is what I'm talking about. So he was doing an interview, and he said that for every Karen, which is a kind of a slur, I guess, for white chicks, right? White women, suburban white women. You know, the demo that Republicans do so great with. That for every Karen Trump loses, he'll pick up a Julio or a Jamal to his base.
No Darnells?
Yeah, no Darnells.
Oh.
You don't get no Darnells.
Okay.
No. So, why would you do that? Just why? Why would you do that? Look, the primary, and we'll talk about that here coming up. But let's just say that everything's right. Or even not, if that's the guy that you want, why would you do that to him? Why are you like this? Why are you Beavising this up? Stop it. Well, you know, for every Karen we get, or that we lose, got a Julio and a Jamal there. But no Darnells. Oh my gosh. Because that's the one demo that Trump does not do well with. No Republican's ever really done great with it. But Trump has been on the struggle bus with that demo. I mean, I got receipts for days. Not that I just, this is the way it is. Republicans have always kind of struggled with that demo. I mean, Trump was even like, please, like, listen, this was like the last time he was campaigning. Listen.
Suburban women, will you please like me? Please.
Like, why is he doing this? Why would Gates go out there and be like, well, you know, for every Karen? Shh. Because that's the demo, again, that all Republicans struggle with. But Trump he's got to have suburban women. I mean, that's just, and 2024, November is, well, we'll get to national polls here later on. But that's the group that you can't go out there and be like, well, he doesn't need women. But their realignment isn't such where you can lose suburban white women. And I think going out and just sticking your foot in your mouth like that is just, it's unnecessary, and it creates problems for the candidate that you profess to be advocating for. It's bad surrogacy. I don't know why you would do that. It's just it's bad strategy. I mean, if I had a surrogate go out there and say that stuff, man, I'd be yanking a knot in their tail, because it just creates unnecessary drama and unnecessary antagonism where you shouldn't add more. It's just goofy. Now, the other thing too, I wanted to play is this, because I think that the time for Republicans issuing ultimatums on stuff is done. But I wanted, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't agree with her all the time. I love it when she shows the Hunter pictures in the hearings, because it is hysterical. Straight-faced, acts like it's no big deal, and everyone else is like over the top, gasping, grabbing at their necks, like, it's hysterical. This is not one of those times, though. So she's mad at Mike Johnson. And let me remind you, remember, we were told by all these cats that we were going to trade out this speaker. We're going to trade out this speaker for a more conservative speaker. We didn't get a more conservative speaker. And now this one has less political capital. Now, he seems like a nice guy. I know people who know him. I don't know him, never met him. He seems like a nice guy. Nothing personal against him, but I'm just going by what I see. And she's mad, and then she says this in an interview. Listen.
Any Republican, or really anyone elected to serve in the United States Congress, should be supporting, protecting America's national security interests, and they would never vote for that deal. And that's why I told Speaker Johnson, if he made that deal in exchange for $60 billion for Ukraine, I would vacate the chair, and I still stand by those words.
All right, so this is why that's a problem. You cannot be hardcore on this while also, and again, this is where you can't be throwing down ultimatums because you're creating problems for yourself. I think the bill's garbage too. The bill is pretty much exactly what the guy that you endorsed pushed in 2018. And that also included amnesty for 1.8 million people. That's not me. That's the history of what happened. I'm just pointing it out. And that's why I'm saying you cannot all of a sudden throw down a line that's harder than the line that you are using to measure your endorsement for the candidate you're advocating everybody to vote for. You got to be consistent, and you cannot create these traps for yourself. And that's kind of what she did here. Are we going to sit here and vacate the chair all the time? I mean, if you're going to have Mike Johnson vacate because you're mad about this bill, then my gosh, don't look back at 2018. 1.8 million getting amnesty. Hell, don't look at that. But at the same time, I think this is a problem with Johnson. And it's not that, he's a bad guy. It is what it is. It's a tight majority in the House that we are on track to lose in November. This bill is probably not going to go anywhere. I can't imagine that it would go anywhere. And if it wasn't for people like Chip Roy and Thomas Massie and some of the House Freedom Caucus, if it wasn't for House Freedom Caucus standing against this, it would already be done. If it wasn't for the House Freedom Caucus, you would already be sending more of our taxpayer dollars to Ukraine. If it wasn't for the House Freedom Caucus, we'd already have the college loan forgiveness, AKA we're subsidizing everybody else's college education while struggling to pay our own bills in a high inflation Biden economy. If it wasn't for the House Freedom Caucus, there would be a lot of hell to pay. So I think that doing stupid ultimatums like this for the sake of political theater are just that. It's just stupid. And it's unnecessary. There's just no reason at all to do it. I don't know. It's got to stop. Now, this is Johnson reacting. Audio Soundbite 7. This is what he had to say to that. Listen.
No, I have a job to do. We all have to do our jobs. Marjorie Taylor Greene is very upset about the lack of oversight over the funding and the lack of a articulation of a plan, as am I. All of us. Many
But she doesn't
House
care
Republicans
about a
feel that
plan.
way.
She doesn't want any Ukraine funding, period. No matter what the White House says the plan is.
I understand that. Yeah, I've talked with her about it personally at great length, and she's made her position very clear. We have to do our job. We have to continue to ensure that we're covering all these bases, and we'll see how all this shakes out.
Yeah, it was super editorial. I don't like it when I hear people. That was a trip for her. I don't like it when people jump in editorializing like that because it just sounds like YouTube commenters. I just don't. Not like you guys in the YouTube discussion. You know what I mean? Like first, it's always on some viral video and everyone's like losing their minds. But that's kind of what she had that energy. Like, well, she doesn't want any plan. Well, that's not necessarily true. It's just not that one. That's just not the one that. But I just think those kind of ultimatums are dumb. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to need every vote you can going into November. You're going to need every single vote possible. I'm going to add this too, as it relates to all the primary stuff, because I'm looking to see. I like the process to play out. I want to see what happens, in New Hampshire and in South Carolina and all this stuff. And we in our system we spend money on primaries. I prefer having the voters. I'm a voter in Texas. Forgive me if I just don't think that 20% of the registered Republicans in a low turnout primary in Iowa get to have their say and the rest of us don't. I think as many people as possible should get to have their say in the primary. I don't like the argument that some people are making that, one race, let's go, we got to reset the table. Everybody, as many as possible should be able to have their say in this. Quit cutting out voices. That's anti-republic. Stop cutting voices out. Now I'm going to watch and see how this goes all the way through New Hampshire and South Carolina. Maybe it'll go to Super Tuesday. Maybe it won't. But I'm going to tell you this. The ultimatums and stuff that Republicans are throwing out to each other and throwing out, everybody else and all of this. And I'm looking at a couple of these other races. Like there's this one race that I'm seeing where Bob Good is, Taylor Greene also blasted him. Marjorie Taylor Greene blasted, he's the House Freedom Caucus chair. She called him a disloyal MAGA traitor because he had endorsed Ron DeSantis after Iowa. I don't like this. This is tribalism. You don't get unity by targeting good conservatives, electable conservatives, in winnable seats out of vengeance over an endorsement. It is, I'll say this one time, it is not the voters' responsibility to bring unity. It is the candidate's responsibility to bring unity. And you will not bring any unity by targeting good conservatives, electable conservatives in winnable districts as vengeance over an endorsement. Now, you can't destroy your best representatives because those are the people you are going to need. Those are the people that will have the spines of steel to get your vision across. Those are the people that won't cave. Those are the people that will take the arrows for the limited government policies. Why you would forsake those people, some of the strongest warriors, is beyond. But that's not unity. And it's not the voters' responsibility to bring unity. It's the candidates.